EduArt Inc. is an idea that I thought about primarily for two reasons. Because I'm a teacher by profession, but I'm also an artist in practice. And so EduArt Inc. is a non-profit organization whose goal is to promote, to use education or to use art as an educational tool. And when I talk about art, I'm not just talking about creative writing, I'm talking about fine arts, I'm talking about the performing arts. I realized from my own practice that it is easy to use art to teach. And at EduArt Inc., I have tried to use that method. We have, since our inception in 2004, we have done a number of things. The first thing we started with was a diversity program in the United States of America. I have my two kids who are going to school in the US, and I quickly noticed that there was a need to promote diversity in their schools, because in each of the activities that they run into, they're the only black kids. So I sat and I thought, what can I do to make the other kids aware of the other nationalities that exist? So I came up with the Diversity After School program. And this is a program where once, it's done in the month of January, and we introduce countries to the children through play, through food. So if you go to Goodwin Elementary School in Stores, Connecticut, and you say, Sukisai Same, they will answer, Sukisai Same. This girl has no eyes to see. That's how they know Cameroon. And if you go there and ask them what they want to eat from Cameroon, they will say puff, puff. So that's how I presented Cameroon to them. And through that program, EduArt has been able to present Cameroon, China, Romania, Chile, Poland, Portugal. If my kids are here, they will tell me the countries I've left out. Are they here? Yes. What? Ukraine. Yes, Ukraine, Germany. So through games, through songs, we've brought these programs to them. Another activity that EduArt has embarked on is a book drive. And so far, we have a good number of books which would go to a university here in Cameroon, a university library here in Cameroon. We haven't identified the library yet. For now, I have a bias for Buea. I hope the bias stays. But of course, I have a weak spot for my alma mater. So I have books. We still, the book drive is still on. And our last, our most recent initiative, of course, was the literary competition. As a researcher of African literature, and whose area of specialization was the dissemination of Anglophone Cameroon literature, I realized that there's always been this talk about the paucity of Anglophone Cameroon literature. From my own research, there's a lot of writing going on in Anglophone Cameroon literature. There's a lot. What it needs is visibility. It's exposure. And at EduArt, we thought creating these awards would create that kind of visibility that I'm talking about. And so in 2006, we launched the awards. 3 categories. The Bate Bisson Award for Poetry, of course, to promote the legacy of Bate Bisson, who passed away last year. The Victor Elame Musinga Award for Drama. If Mr. Musinga is here, could he stand for 1 minute? Okay, Mr. Director. To honor his legacy as a pioneer dramatist and his endurance for continuing his craft despite the odds all these years. it is worth emulating and is something inspirational for dramatists. Our third award was the Jane and Rufus Blanchard Award for fiction. Professor Rufus Blanchard is a pioneer in the United States in teaching African literature, and he taught African literature at the University of Connecticut. And he had the pleasure in 1975-1976 to teach at the University of Yaoundé. In fact, he is responsible for initiating one of my professors, Professor Ekemagbo. That's the person who took Professor Ekemagbo to the University of Connecticut at Stores, where he got his PhD. After he came to University of Yaoundé, and actually, I think they staged A Raisin in the Stone, where Professor Agbo starred as Walter Lee. So Professor Rufus Blanchard, when I went to Stores to teach, he was already a professor emeritus. But when he got to know that there was a Cameroonian there who had come to teach African literature, with the passion he had for the subject, he made sure he looked for me and was my mentor until his death last year. And I have a surprise from him today. I'm going to surprise somebody here with something I found from Professor Rufus Blanchard's archives, which he happened to have passed on to me. His wife, Jane, is a copy editor, and while she was in Cameroon, she wrote extensively in the Cameroon Tribune. But what I admired about this couple is not just their interest in African literature, but it's their people-to-people concern. When they were in Cameroon, they could have lived in Bastos, but they lived under an off-license at Mvokme because they wanted to be with the people. And because they were with the people, they came back with a lot of stories. Right now, Jane Blanchard is finishing up her journal, and so I honored them by giving this fiction award in their name. In the course of the evening, we'll be talking. I want this evening to go quickly. And EduArt, you can only get an idea. You cannot build the idea. If you guys are not here, the idea means nothing. I'll be sitting here alone with all these chairs and glasses. And so, this idea, I'm putting it in your hands so that it can build. I said it on the radio today, and I'll say it to you. Sometimes when we do non-profit organizations, our people think it's an opportunity. We've gone and taken money for the white man to come and spend here. Now I tell you something that I know about the West, is that you can get money for certain things. Maybe diseases, maybe inferiority. I don't know how many people will give me money to come and improve your minds or to improve my mind. I don't think so. So we would have to do that ourselves. We can't sit here and wait for the Commonwealth Prize. We can't do that. There can only be one Achebe at a time, one Professor Oshundare at a time. So we have to start from here. The West can only take one of them at each given time. So what will we do with our Mutias, with our Butakes, with our Mbanasoms? We will have to do it ourselves. And you all might have got this idea. I've decided to play my own card on the table. I'm hoping you will all join me to play your jokers on the table, so that together, this is not a one-time event. I want to be here next year for the second EduArt Awards. But if we don't support this venture, then we will eat, and it will be one of those ventures that will come